Good. I was just about to, goddammit, Chris. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and people who identify as otherwise, and welcome to the third round of the SSRI WTCC Championship. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight will be Dominic Giese, and from time to time you might hear the words of the lovely Chris Hill. So, Dominic, have you ever been to Ningbo before?
No, I doesn't. It seems to be an interesting track, but a track which I can't pronounce really correctly. But I think, I hope our drivers can make the track.
Oh, they sure can. I think it's pronounced Ningbo. I'm not entirely sure. It's at least some kind of Asian name, or Asian sounding name.
Yeah,
So
it seems to be in China.
I do believe so. Dominic. How have you liked the action so far this season of the SSRI WTCC Championship?
No, it was a nice championship so far. Like last race, we see a lot of action with the first race, which is in the normal qualifying grid. They pushed to the limits because it's only a 20-minute race, so you need to give everything you got. And in the second race, we have a reverse grid, and there are the fast drivers in the back and the slower drivers in the front. So we had a lot more action, but a longer race as well. 30 minutes we have. So I'm really excited to see this race.
It's two very different races we have for you tonight. The first race will be somewhat of a short one, but normally we see the fast guys qualifying in the front, driving away, really racing each other in the front of the field, as we really want them to see. The second race is more about surviving, getting through the field, not making too much contact, getting off to a good start, maybe picking up a few positions, but most important of all, keeping your car clean of damage when you get into that first corner and finish the first lap. This track in particular have a lot of interesting places. Two very sharp hairpins, a left-right chicane, and a few S's. Not that easy to control these front-wheel driven cars around this track. Dominic, if you were preparing for this track, what would you focus on the most?
I would mostly to learn the track at first, because I doesn't know this track yet. And second wise, I would train on the race pace to get in front of the grids in the race, because this is what matters.
Yeah, drivers of our skill level, where we would normally be in the back of the grid anyways, no matter what cars we race. Would you even consider practicing qualifying for an event like this, knowing that you'll probably be in the back of the grid in the first race anyway, and for the second one qualifying doesn't really matter?
I would train qualifying as well, because it's important for the first race. If it's only 20 minutes long, but you need to do this.
Oh, Dominic, both you and I know that we would both just crash out the cars in the first corner attempting to do qualifying in these cars.
Probably. I have hopes in us.
Yeah, and if people have tuned in to see the famous SSRI scenic cameras where we just film random virtual live nature, then we don't hope that's gonna be an issue tonight. We did see a lot of very nice Eastern European forests last time, and quite a few parked cars in the parking lots. But our camera crew today have probably sorted it out. Otherwise, we will do nothing about it, because we can't. Ningbo International Circuit. I'll just read some random stuff that I find on Google, because I have absolutely no idea that this track even existed before today.
Me as well.
No,
I only know the Shanghai International Circuit because of the Formula 1, but every other circuit in China, I doesn't know.
There's that Suho track as well, I think it's called. Suho? Yes, it's pronounced like that. At least close to. But I do believe we have 23 corners around this track, and they are very easy to pronounce, all of them, because they just have numbers. It'll be T and then the corner numbers. But we'll probably still confuse them anyway throughout the race, because we don't really know the track. We are super professional commentators who have looked up all the important facts before this race. Obviously, as always, here on SSRI TV. But it's gonna be an interesting one. A lot of good overtaking opportunities. We do see a lot of corners leading out to straights on this track, followed by very hard braking zones. So a little bit of action might be in store for us tonight. We have seen Pascal Jean Pietri winning 3 out of the first 4 races we've seen so far in the season, with Simsport taking the only other win. But that win might have been a little bit hollow, as we saw his team, or well, his normal teammate Nard Cox basically just hand over the position to him in the race, moving out of the way. But that's what we have teammates for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you ever do that for me, Dominic?
I would. You know,
Oh, really?
I love you.
Oh, I wouldn't do it for anyone.
Ah, god damn it.
I even once crashed with Gabor in a race because he thought that I would let him through, but I was like, nah. No way. You're only as good as your teammates, or at least they're your biggest rivals. Even though we were driving different cars at the time, but hey.
Yeah, the first rival you have is your teammate. But your teammate is your teammate, like it sounds. So you need to work with him to get a good team result.
I think you're going to love this endurance season, Dominic. It's gonna be very fun. Anyways, I think we are getting to an end of practice soon, and we will be heading into qualifying in just a short while. And just a short while, as soon as Chris Hill have the famous cameras ready for us. And we'll see who can take the pole position in this race. I actually can't remember who qualified on pole last time, but I do believe it was Sean Pietri and I would say Simsport and Fabio. I'm just trying to find his name somewhere. Give me a minute while I attempt to do that. Oh.
You can do it, I believe in you.
Gill. Fabio Gill. Yes, I have very good long capacity, which I was totally not just showing off. Yes, we did see a lot of great driving from Fabio Gill last time around, and a lot of overtakes. He was kind of the unspoken star of the race. We almost didn't do anything but commentate on his driving. It was wonderful to see. And the mighty battles of time in the first race at least. And his progression up in the field in the second one, which I do believe got a little bit halted by a crash later on, and we should have been going to qualifying now, but apparently there are some technical difficulties plaguing us once again this evening. So you'll just have to enjoy some... Oh, we are actually qualifying, god damn it, yeah. I was looking at the wrong screen.
Oh, you idiot.
Yes, and I only have one screen. God, yeah, you never do anything right, Chris. God damn it, 9 minutes of qualifying remaining. We haven't seen a lap time completed yet. Here we are following the Renault of Marcel Viss. Very bright car. I do believe it's a Renault at least. It looks like it, and the logo on the screen looks like it. And in this racing series, I don't break. Ah, god damn it, it's not even his. Pascal Jean Pietri, of course. Who else would we be following around this first lap? Just forget that I ever said anything. 8.5 minutes to go, and he will probably be the first one to set a lap time, maybe? I actually don't know who went out on the track first because I was looking at the wrong screen. Idiot!
Yeah.
I would sure hope so. Anyways, let's see what he can do. This is the out lap or flying lap. We actually don't know that either, I think. But he sure is gunning it through the lap. It might be his first flying lap. Let's see if he makes any mistakes that we can have a little bit of fun about in the commentary booth. Across the line he goes in a few seconds, and we'll see if we get a lap time in. Doesn't look like it, but he have started one now. Coming into the first left-hand corner, into the second left-hand corner, which is seems like a bit of trail braking into the third left-hand corner, also known as T3 around this circuit. Very exciting names, a little bit of a right-hander, and I do believe we go on to somewhat of a straight here, leading onto a braking zone of sorts that will go left and then right, almost 180 degrees right. Through here, if it's not 180 degrees, I think it is, into another right-hand corner, then we'll go on to a straight again, into a hairpin. A few action spots here early in the lap. good opportunities for overtakes if you can set them up correctly. These cars are a little bit tricky to get on the throttle early, and they are normally just the one fast line through the corners, but a lot of different lines will be possible depending on your driving style. This could be an action point where we'll see people diving up and making contact on the inside. We see the car jumping around on the curbs. They're coming into the chicane for the first time with full qualifying speed. Oh, we jump around. Keeps it on track though. A little bit of traffic ahead, but I don't think it will be a problem around this lap. The traffic goes off quite a bit, and we see a lot of usage of the curbs, which you would probably also want to do with touring cars. But we have seen in the first round of this championship that the touring cars can roll a bit when you hit them in unfortunate ways. Oh, does he keep it on track? He does keep it on track. Still around on the flying lap, it seems. Coming in here, looking for the apex, hitting the apex nicely over the curves. These cars look so fun when they jump around, and you know they won't get that upset about the curves because they are front engine drive cars with that front wheel drive system. And here we go across the line for the first time in qualifying. P1 150.2. Can anyone beat that early on in the qualifying session? We'll have to wait and see. That Polish guy goes in about 9/10 after, and Nart Cox in 1.8 after. Wilson, who we do believe have swapped cars for this race, have also put in on time, and the first of the Neil guys. I was about to say brothers, but we actually don't know that at all if they are. Schengen, his Opel, puts it in at a mediocre 6th, as you would do in an Opel, obviously. With a lot of time to... I love Opels, I drive them myself, but they are nothing but mediocre. Other car brands are available. Tim Spenkeling in the Hyundai. Almost home track for this car manufacturer, only a few countries away. Depending on where in China this race circuit is placed, it could be very close. Although you would have to go through a dictatorship to get there, but let's not talk about that on a YouTube channel. Tim Spenkeling goes purple in the first sector. As we see him come around here, can he also purple it up in the second sector, maybe challenging Sean Pietri for the pole position in race 1? He haven't set a time yet, and Dave Jr., the American driver, puts in a lap time. It seems like there's quite a bit of a gap between the top and midfield today. It's also a very long technical track with a lot of places where you can do all of your lap time once you have gained it. Tim Spenkeling hard over the curbs. This is the chicane. He also just touches it up, and he could have used more of the curbs. He's faster than his personal best, which doesn't say a lot because it's not put up on the scoring boards as of yet, but still looks like a decent split too. Coming through the last couple of corners now, or last few corners now. Actually, we don't know because we have only seen this track on a track map, and this camera sort of interferes with my perspective of the truck. But I do believe that's the final corner. Oh, well, one of these corners are the final corner, coming onto the main start and finish straight. It's a 150.2 to beat. Can Tim Spenkeling beat that the first time around on this track? No, he can't. He goes into 5th position behind the Polish guy, Neil and Viz and Sean Pietri. Still movement around on the timing boards as we now follow Lensen around in the Renault. Coming on, he does look like he's improving on his personal best. He jumps into 7th position. Currently still 1.4 seconds to gain if he wants to take pole position. Fabio Gil have put in his first lap time now. Currently placed in 9th position, 2.2 seconds behind Sean Pietri, who currently holds pole position. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go now in qualifying. Now we follow Fabio Gil. He's a man on a mission. He does want to take that first win of the season. He did do a very good job last time around, but can he do it again this time and provide us with some action on track? Improves a little bit in the first sector, but only by 1.8 tenth of a second. Let's see what he can do in the second. It looks like he took a bit more curb there than Tim Spenkeling did on the inside. Maybe that's the way to go, maybe it's not. We'll have to wait and see. Only time can tell us that. Improves again in the second section. He's up by quite a bit now. Racing through the third. Oh, it looks like he put 2 wheels onto the grass. Coming in over the curbs. Both curbs mounting them super hard. Keeping the car in. Hooking it up for the next apex there. Nicely over the curbs again. Coming into the corner that I thought was the final one last time around, but it's not. It's the third final one. Penultimate corner here over the curbs into the final corner now. Fabio Gil, ladies and gentlemen, what can he do? And people of other sexes and who identifies otherwise. From 9th position, he will jump up into 8th. Not massive improvements in the end, but still good enough to put him further up the grid. We'll see if he can improve in the last 2 minutes. He will have only 1 lap left of qualifying, because when the timer hits 0, the qualifying will just end as it is. You won't get to finish the lap that you have started. Qualifying ends when the timer hits 0. So from about now on out, the times you'll see pop up on the timing board will be the driver's final qualifying lap times when they're done with the lap. Following Marcel Viss now around his final time around this track, or at least in qualifying. He'll obviously have to do more laps in the race if he stays with us for that. We assume he does since he's qualifying. He goes purple in the first sector, only by 5,000ths of a second. Coming into the hairpin now. Can we see improvement in the second sector as well? As we go down the straight into, I think it's T12, we'll see at the end here someone's going off in the background. Onto the grass, yes, turn 12, and now we'll have the chicane coming up. How much curb does he dare to take through this? Hard on the brakes, hit the first one, second one, he uses more curb than we've seen Sean Pietri and Simsport do. We are still not entirely sure what is the correct line there. If we had a driver who had actual experience on this track, we would probably know he doesn't improve in the second one. He actually loses time in the second sector, but still 1 sector to go. In these cars, it can be all about how you got on the throttle coming onto the timing line in the sector. So it can be a little bit misleading from time to time. Marcel Viss now, third final corner into the penultimate corner now. 1 more corner to go. Will we see Marcel Viss improve and take pole position away from Sean Pietri? No, we don't. He's across the line, and for some reason we have the timing screen, but there should still be like 20 seconds left of qualifying, Chris. Oh, it's just how RaceRoom works, apparently. We are jumping on board the hood cam of a car now. Let's see what will happen. Coming across the line now. A little jump there. It looked like it was Dave Jr. who moved up into 10th position. Oh, the times are incredible in the top.
Yeah.
Top 6 is within 1 second, but then we do see a little bit of a gap after that coming down the grid. What do you think of this, Dominic? Is it what you expected of this track?
So this track seems to be fun. I'm really excited to see now the race, how the cars goes into the corners, how they will attack. And maybe we see a car flipping around, because we've seen so much sausage curbs and really long sausage curbs. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, we sure hope we'll see some cars flipping around with only 30 seconds now until we see the cars on the grid. This is gonna be a fun one. It is a little bit difficult coming into the first 2 corners. They're both left-hand corners. Actually, the first 3 corners are left-hand corners. The first one is just a slight kick on the start-finish straight. But guys, if you had the option to start in the left or right-hand side, wouldn't you go for the left-hand side? This track with 2 left-hand corners coming up. Obviously, you don't get to choose that exactly, but left or right side, Dominic, what would you do?
I don't know. I want to see the start. No, and we see the pit. No, we see it.
Oh, we are off. The race is off. Coming into the first corner now. Sean Pietri takes the start, but he is on the outside with Marcel Viss following in behind. The Polish guy is still in 3rd position. Or is he now? Still Sean Pietri leading up. There's movement further down the field. Dave Jr. have moved up into 9th position. Looks like Brno have lost out a little bit in the start of the race. They are 2 wide further down the field coming into the next corner. Can they keep it clean? And these touring cars looks like there'll be a little bit of contact, but no, they come out of it without anything happening. As Caminaro made it into the session, we didn't see him in the qualifying, as we now are following Stu Neal. A little bit of side-by-side action, a little bit of paint swapping, it looked like. It wouldn't hurt that white car to get some blue on it.
But very late on the brakes.
Really
Could he stick to the outside? No, he doesn't.
NASCAR formations there, 2x2s through the corner. Looks like the inside won it out. And it seems like... What happened to Mr. Spinkling? Oh, he must have been involved in something all the way down into 12th position. Fabio Gil in 6th now. Through the chicane the first time. Oh, with all these cars running so closely, it's amazing no one got turned there or anyone did anything stupid. Still Fabio Gil, he's trying the move on Mr. Wilson here. The Portuguese on the Brit, and that Polish guy got overtaken by Neil. Neil is really on a good one today. Already up into 3rd position. Only Marcel Viss and Sean Pietri ahead now. As we here see Neil now driving ahead of that Polish guy. I think it's Kowalowski we agreed on last time around, but that's a little bit too hard to pronounce multiple times during a race. Oh, missed the corner a little bit. That will give Kowalowski a little bit of a run onto the start-finish straight, but will it be enough to make a move? Seems unlikely, but we still have a little bit to go before we start braking. Now we're on the brakes, hard on the brakes into the 2nd corner, both left-hand corners still. We'll get the better drive out of this 3rd corner, coming onto the 1st straight after the start-finish straight as we're on right now. At the end of this, we'll have the hard braking, but yeah. What do we get here? Oh, a little bit close. Just behind them with Wilson and Gil. It looks like Wilson, Gil, and Kowalowski in a little bit of dogfight at the minute. Gil is moving up.
There was a contact.
Gil is moving up. Gil is now ahead of Wilson there. Remember, Rubbing is racing in these cars, so I would call that a very nice move from Fabio Gil. French flag on the car behind is not driven by a Frenchman. It is Mr. Wilson hunting Fabio Gil right now. We have seen Fabio Gil be better in the races than he have been in qualifying. He maybe just have to get a little bit used to the tracks with driving, and that's why we see him progress so much in the races, at least in the 1st race. As we saw last time around when we were visiting the Eastern European country of Czechia.
Yeah, I believe so.
Some place where
Czech
they have
Republic,
cheap,
yeah.
yeah, some place where they have cheap beer. At least that's all I know of that place. Get like a whole pitcher for like less than €1 some places. Not that I know any of that. Still Fabio Gil here. Already almost 4 minutes have passed in this race, and we are still only on lap 2. Quite a long lap around this track, as they're still running closely down here. Speckling now up to 11th position, just behind Mike at Brnoza and Schenken, the famous mediocre Opel. There we have some beautiful buildings, as Chris loves to show us, jumping onto Mr. Schenken, the wonderful Opel Astra. Mr. Mediocrity, as the car's called. Here in the commentary shed at least. It is nice to see a lot of variation in cars as we do in these touring car races. We have Opels, Ladas, Renaults, Cupra, I think one of them is. Some other weird manufacturers, Peugeots. Not that that one's a weird manufacturer, but Hyundais we also have. The home field heroes almost. Maybe all of these cars are just European rebranches now that we are racing here. Who knows? As we see Dimitri Sink, he is holding off Mike Arpinosa behind. He's not letting Arpinosa get too close to him. Oh, but a little bit of a mistake there at the hairpin. Now Arpinosa is all over his rear wing. Can Arpinosa get anything out of this? We do have a left-hand corner coming at the end, but it's sort of a medium to high-speed corner. As I remember it, even though it looks very tight, they can run a lot of cars. Dimitri is off onto the runoff he goes, and now he dropped a position. Dimitri Schenk now behind Mike Arpinosa, and will Simsport also capitalize on this? He's coming in close, He does have his eyes set on this 10th position now. Mr. Simsport showing himself a little bit on the inside, but not making anything of it. Mike Arpinosa now up into 9th position, as Dimitri Schenk is taking a little bit of a defensive line there, it looks like. Simsport on half of the outside, that was a nice porta potty we saw there. Simsport still right up under the rear wing in the mighty 69 machine. Can he get a better run out here? Oh, that was not the corner I was thinking of. I'm very sorry about that. This is the one where they mount all the curves, coming to another corner where Sim mounts a lot more curves than Dimitri in the Opel. And this is now a straight where Simsport will have a little bit of a speed advantage, looks like, over Dimitri Schenk. Yeah, yes, Simsport have moved up into the inside. Can he make a clean move here? Takes a lot of curves. Look like all 4 wheels in. Oh, a little bit of contact there. It looked like a little bit of a squeeze by Sim, but he did just send it as you do in touring cars. Now Sim is up into 10th position in this race. Can he hunt down Mike Arpinosa for 9th? As we see side-by-side action. Stu Neal and Marcel Viss Neil have really been on charge this race so far. Wow! What a drive so far we have seen from this guy. But does he have the pace to catch Jean-Pierre 2.1 seconds now behind? The 99 machinery will be looking a little bit feisty, or is at least looking a little bit feisty, as they look like we had some moving going around behind them. As we now go on to Jake Wilson behind Fabio Gill. It looks like Gill's still a man that we see a lot of action from. Doesn't matter what track we go to or what position he's in. Always involved in battles. It's so nice to see. As Wilson is taking very different lines through those corners than Fabio Gill are. The much longer Hyundai. It looks a little bit weird seeing that small car up against the Hyundai, sort of like old WTCC with the big muscle cars and the Mini Coopers racing around. A little bit of a flashback here, although I didn't live to see that, unfortunately, but hey, that was before my time. Maybe Chris Hill can remember some of that. No comment, but we know he's like the grandpa here, so obviously he can. As we are onto the start-finish straight once again to finish our lap 5 the drivers are onto now. And still 12 minutes to go in this race. Jake Wilson still looks like he's almost glued to the rear wing of Fabio Gill. But it seems like it's a little bit hard to make the move, as we here see Marcel Clean coming up
Michael.
Yes, Michael Clean coming up close behind to Dimitri Schenk. Dimitri have really been dropping down this race. A little bit of action here. It looks like maybe we'll see an overtake soon. And Linsen is not far behind either, so maybe it can be a 2-for-1. Or 2-for-1 loss for Dimitri. Oh, they got close on the braking. Dimitri got a little bit of a gap there. Missed the Schenk up, so now Clean have to defend a little bit from Linsen. But not a lot. Oh, it's an Alfa Romeo. We also have Alfa Romeos in this race, don't forget. Mighty machinery, although it's a little bit to see an Alfa parked in a workshop somewhere. Although we did see it in the garage for about a minute before the race, so maybe that have something to do with it. Fresh parts always helps out in these cars. Coming into the left-hander that will lead into the chicane. Not really an overtaking zone we're coming up to. We see Linsen much later on the brakes there, but he does lose a little bit of speed on the apex to Clean, who have caught up a little bit to Schenk here. Coming through the chicanes, and it's all equaled out again. It's so... Oh, Schenk goes up on 2 wheels there for a short bit of time. I was about to say not often we see these cars do that, but if you want to see cars go on 2 wheels, then watch the first race of the season. That was a spicy one. A lot of curb taken there by Clean. As Schenk just can't seem to get that car hooked on the curbs. Maybe have an issue with temperature on the tires or something like that. It just doesn't look good for him at the moment. As Clean will be... Oh, is he trying a little bit of a show off here? No, he loses too much speed onto the start-finish straight, but this might even open the door for Linsen to make a move on Clean as we come down here through T1. Nothing really happening as we go into T2 now. Linsen's going a little bit wider into the corner, getting a better exit, and Linsen is coming side by side now. Side by side, Linsen is making the moves. Linsen is up into P12 now, and will be the next guy to put pressure on Dimitri Schenk if he can close the gap and close it fast enough. 10 minutes to go in this race, halfway through already. Interesting to see as Sean Pietri is still just gapping the cars behind. Still action down here with Marcel Viss and the 99 machinery of Neil. Ooh, and they all go a little bit wide there. This makes a gap for Kowalowski to go on to the outside. Oh, this next corner is a little bit of a risky one to make an overtake on. And he just sent, and it seems like a bit of contract as Marcel Viss continues. Grass, he goes into the gravel trap. Marcel Viss drops a lot of positions here as Kowalowski still races on. Up into third now for Kowalowski. Gill into fourth, Wilson into fifth. Marcel Viss will be raging underneath that helmet or headset. However, he's racing his car around this very wonderful virtual track. Jake Kowalowski now into third podium position once again for him. Not too shabby for him. 1 second up to Neil at this point. As Gill is 4 seconds behind these guys. Some gaps are forming up at this end of the field. As we go on board now with Jack Kowalowski, or as he's known, that Polish guy. I'm secretly rooting for him. I love them Polish guys, they have very nice liquor down there. I'm Can we say that on stream on YouTube? I guess we can. It's Grandpa Chris Hill who's monetizing this one, so he knows what I'm talking about. At least we think so. Still on board with Jake Kulowski here. Get a very good vantage point of the markers and everything, where they break, when they're steering into the corners, as we go out to see a little bit of a battle now. Jake Wilson getting close to Fabio Gil once again. It seems like these two can't be separated in this race. They're like mayonnaise and more mayonnaise. Nothing goes better together than these two guys on track. If you have a better combo than that, then write it in the YouTube chat maybe, or post it in the SSRI Discord and tell us what's your favorite combo in the world that goes better together than these two race car drivers. Jake Wilson now tucked in our slips, and as we see here, Nart Cox for the first time in this race in the ladder, making a move. It looks like on no, he's defending from Mike Abranosa. Sorry, he's defending from Mike Abranosa, who's coming up behind a little bit wide there for Nart Cox. It looks like he is trying to shut the door through this chicane. We go, not the best place to stay too close. Both of these looks like, oh, it's a Lada and a Honda, but they're both yellow, which obviously confuses all of us, as Cox looks a little bit on the inside, but nothing to show. No, it's Abranosa who looked a little bit on the inside. They're both yellow still, and this really allows for Dave Jr. and Tim Spinkling to catch up to this fight as well. Maybe that's what Nart Cox is trying to get his normal teammate involved, or at least his GT teammate involved into this battle as well, as they are really closing the gap now. Dave Jr. and Tim Spinkling, and Dimitri Schenk is also coming up to join them, it looks like. If this battling goes on, it is really the train now. It is a Nart Cox Lada train here on the Asian track, with the somewhat Asian manufacturer leading another Asian manufacturer on the train. I didn't mean to say that, and then another Asian manufacturer is further behind as well. Not that we have to say Asian a lot, but sometimes it's nice to say it's really an Asian sensation down on the track today. As Mike Abranosa is really looking everywhere to get around Nart Cox here. Must have been a mistake earlier for Cox to fall back into the claws of Mike Abranosa. As we see all the cars here in photo, it's almost like the early hours of an endurance race. As we just saw the ladder of Nart Cox go off onto the inside track, and Abranosa on the outside, which means that Tim Spinkling now is coming up with Dave Jr. right ahead of him. Oh, making the move there. 3 different lines now coming into the corner.
So maybe he did a split break. Can he do it?
He's trying the slingshot, going down the outside. Dave Jr. gets him onto the grass. Nothing wrong with that at that point. We're coming into a left-hand corner now. It looks like that Sim Spinkling is going to try the outside. Dave Jr. on the inside. Can they avoid contact? They do. Dave lets Sim Spinkling onto the track. I wouldn't have done that. Now they're into the chicane. Oh, Sim just slots in ahead. What a beautiful move as Dave Jr. goes back on the outside, still side by side. Sim comes out on top so far. How feisty will Dave be now? There's a little bit of a gap forming, and they will try and catch back up to the fighting yellow cars ahead of them. As Dimitri Schenk is really also getting battle now, right behind Dave Jr. as Linson also follows him around. Here we have Dimitri Schenk in the pictures, as we see, defending Linson and attacking Dave Jr. Having to focus both in the mirror and on what's going on ahead of him at this point in these touring cars, front-wheel driven machineries. Not the nicest cars to handle, but extremely fun to race. On board here, coming into the first corner, we can really get a good vantage point here of what the drivers can see with the mirror up in the top. Braking, as someone was a little bit wide there. Mike Abranosa now on the inside, looking for the move on the ladder ahead of. Now I thought we were somewhere else on the track. It was just a different line. It looks like Mike Abranosa still behind Nart Cox, as we only have 4.5 minutes left in the race. Seems like time is just flying past us, just as these cars are. A little bit of a wide line, 2 cars going side by side behind in this group of cars. It actually looked like a dark car that was involved in that, but no, maybe not. Mike Abranosa goes onto the inside now. Mike Abranosa, a little bit of contact will be, as Mike Abranosa looks for the move now on Nart Cox. It doesn't work as Sim Spinkling now goes up onto the inside, sending it into the left-hand corner before the chicane. Sim Spinkling backs out a little bit. but it does look like Mike Brno went off onto the grass as Sam Spenkeling is still on the inside into the chicane. This will have to yield this as they leave each other just enough racing room there. Mike Brno is still ahead of Sam Spenkeling. Oh, Sam Spenkeling now coming up. A little bit of a mistake. Can Dave Jr. capitalize on this as they are really close down here? You couldn't even put a pube between them coming out of that corner. Oh, Sim, don't do anything stupid. Dave is lurking behind them as a hawk, waiting for the mistake to strike on them to hunt his prey, as it looks like Nart Cox got a really bad exit there. Mike Brno right up behind him again. Coming onto the start-finish straight now, 3 minutes to go in this race. As we go down start-finish straight, look at all these cars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the picture, if not 6. After 15 minutes of racing in these touring cars, really close battling up and down the field. Dave Jr. now follows. And he went to a little bit of a different line, and we jump up to Mike Brno, jumping back and forward all the time in this battle as the action just moves around. I'm getting a little bit of a dry throat after all this yelling in this race. Look at all the cars. One perfect line, or well, it's not perfect contact. That was Dave Jr. making that contact on Sam Spenkeling. Maybe he's a little bit upset about what happened earlier, or maybe just a slight mistake. As Dave Jr. now drops into 11th position as Dmitry Schenk made the overtake. 3 cars, 3 places on the track. Dave Jr. on the inside. We have seen the inside work here. Contact there. Dave Jr. gets out ahead, but a little bit later on the front as Dmitry Schenk now on the outside. It looks like Dave Jr. gave him back the position there as a good sportsman. But still on the inside, maybe he'll look for the move. No, he slots in behind. Maybe just keeping a little bit of defense there. Sam Spenkeling now makes the move on Mike Brno. Sam goes ahead of Mike Brno through the chicane. Not a normal place to overtake in any kind of car. Wow!
What a move for the Dutch.
Sam Spenkeling is making a comeback in this race up into 8th position now, and getting feisty now. Brno making the slide country. This could be Dmitry Schenk's opportunity, who seemed to be nowhere early in the race, dropping positions like flies, and now he's back up into 10th position. As he onboard Lensen, you can see all the cars ahead. Then Lensen now goes up a position, overtaking Dave Jr. Wow! This is crazy action. 1 minute to go. Drivers will be going on to the last lap. I don't know how the white flag rules exactly work in this series. If it's if the race will finish as the leader crosses after the minute, or he'll get the white next time he goes by, we'll have to wait and see. You should think that the commentators knew this kind of stuff, but not here at SSRI TV. We are just volunteers and amateurs. Dmitry Schenk, beautiful machinery. Still, we are in some kind of a straight on the track in China. Dmitry Schenk driving around as we here go to the race leader. Dominant performance by Sean Pietri in this race. 5.6 seconds down to Neil. Neil have been the top surprise in this race, really gaining some positions, moving up the field. He could be a challenger for a win in the second race with the reversed grid, as Sean Pietri cruises around the track. No one even near him in this race. He drove off from the beginning of the race, controlling it all from the lead, letting everyone scrub behind him. Some contacts around the field, it didn't matter for him. They wouldn't have caught him anyways, or at least doesn't look like it. Pascal Sean Pietri coming around the track. Only a few corners to go now. I do believe he's in the third and final sector of this wonderful raceway that have provided us with a lot of great action on the start-finish straight now. Pascal Sean Pietri wins the first race around Ningbo circuit. Checkered flag is out. Pascal Sean Pietri. Wow, what a performance. As we here go down very close for second position as Stu Neal comes into second, and Jake Kowalowski, that Polish guy, claims third in this race. Here we have, oh, what the freaking action is happening here. Looks like Fabio Hill takes 5th position.
I think Marcel Wiss isn't happy about his race.
Just ahead of Marcel Wiss. Or whatever that was. Maybe it was a back marker. Honestly, I think it was back marker as we see the big gaggle of cars coming in there behind. Marcel Wiss finishing ahead of Nart Cox, Sim Spenkeling, Mike Brno, Lensen Jr., Liam Travers coming out, which is a great name that we haven't seen a lot of today, and Tribeck. Yes, we are actually... No, we are not racing anymore. They must have crossed the start-finish line at this point. Or have they? No, they are far enough behind that they are still racing for positions. Maybe
No,
Patrick
they're
Travers. No,
cruising.
they're not. They are cruising. Patrick Travers in the picture in the Alfa Romeo. JC coming out, the driver with the greatest name in this championship. Coming around here to finish his or her final lap. I actually don't know what the person would identify as. A little bit of showing off there, losing control of the car in the end. Wow, what a first race we had. Dominic, thoughts on that first race?
Amazing. It seems to be that the track is a nice track to race at, and the drivers near the perfection to the track, and they look so feisty in the first race. So I don't know how it will be in the second race. The second race must be more excitement than the first one. So I'm really excited to see it.
Yes, the next half hour of racing is truly gonna be a spectacle, as the drivers now will be reverse grid from how they finished in the first race, which means Sean Pietri will be starting from the back of the grid, having to fight his way through the field. Not a large field this time around, but still a quite decent field. It's not an easy challenge. We have seen there's been some robbing around this track, not any big crashes that we have seen, though we had a driver finishing 8 laps behind. There could have been something wrong in there. But it sure is gonna be interesting to see what will happen in the second race, as Sean Pietri now moves up into 4 wins of the season, 4 out of 5 wins so far. Truly dominant driver. Truly. And now that we all have you here and we have a little bit of time, we can use a quick spotlight for what's going to happen in this weekend. Chris, can you tell us what's going to happen here on Saturday on this very YouTube channel? Chris is concentrating something that we haven't heard ever before. But no, we'll have the first round of the SSRI GT3 Endurance Championship of this season. Round 1 will be at Laguna Seca, a sure guarantee for some action in the first couple of laps, maybe even the first couple of hours, or actually all of the 6 hours will be action-packed. Make sure to tune in this Saturday during the 6 hours of racing and some qualifying beforehand, which is new for us SSRI drivers to have to do qualifying on race day for these endurance events. It's surely going to be interesting to see how people have prepared for that. How would you prepare for it, Dominic?
For the race on?
Yeah, for the race on Saturday, if you were racing for a slightly weird team.
So I'm racing with you, so you're considering to be weird. Okay. No, I'm preparing very well. I've looked up last time. I've done over 200 laps now on Laguna Seca, because I'm with a new car with the Mercedes AMG Evo, and I practice a lot of the RaceRoom, and then mostly at the end of my practice session I do a quali one and I improve step by step.
You're expecting to be ready for the race. Have you done more than the magic lap number of practice?
Yeah, I'm done more than 101 laps like you do.
Always gonna hit the target.
Yeah, exactly. That must be the target for every race to train.
Nothing more, nothing less. The 101 laps are the magical number.
Yeah, exactly.
Only 30 seconds to race start. Wow, and we'll now jump onto a camera that shows a countdown. Wow. Now let's just take a brief moment to catch our breath and get ready for the start of what surely will be a hectic second race around Ningbo Speedway, International Speedway, something, whatever they want to call the track over there. So let's just quickly, everybody.
So, now we are going into the grid. Reverse grid now.
5 red lights on, they are flashing. And we are racing! Simon Tribeck from pole position this time around. In a car that I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Cooper. I think it's a Cooper. As they are two. Oh, they are three cars up ahead. 3 cars A little bit of carnage coming in here. Patrick Travers losing out big on going wide into the first corner as he gets swarmed on the inside and outside of the track. One of the long Hyundais on the outside of him, I think it's Mr. Simsport making the move up. As they are truly coming in like fighter jets out of formation. A swarm of wasps coming in to attack you. As we see a little bit of free by free action further down the field, it looked like. As there's a car slow on the inside there. Surely everyone will have to see that. Sean Pietri making the moves already up into 10th position. Can he make it into 9th as Trivic, the pole sitter, had some issues as he goes a little bit wide once again. Falling almost back down into last by doing so.
And he got another
Contact Sean Pietri now on JC Caminao on the outside. Will Caminao even try and defend this one? As we here have Simon Trivic fall down all the way into 14th position now, only 2 cars behind after starting from pole position. What a bad first step. Caminao cutting the corner here to defend from Sean Pietri. It didn't help a lot as Sean Pietri is still ahead of the driver. Marcel Viss getting close to the action as Jake Wilson is going to try and make a double move here. Is going on the inside of Marcel Viss as there's some contact as they go around the corner, but these front drive cars doesn't really matter too much for these guys. As we saw the porta potty again as Jake Wilson now comes up on the inside making that return contact. As Stu Neal is trying to come back from behind. We saw him making a lot of moves in the first race, moving up the field. But it's all about getting that gap and then pulling away from the cars behind, which is a little bit of an issue here when they are so close as they are 2 by 2, almost NASCAR formation coming down the start, finish straight. Slipstreaming and bomb drafting and everything free wide now. 4-car gaggle, what is going on in this race? As Stu Neal looks to actually do a pretty good job and come out on top in this battle here. Wow! What a triple overtake by Stu Neal here, up into 9th position after Marcel Viss into 10th and Wilson 11th. Coming out now dropped into 12th position as Clean leads the race on lap 2. Flinson behind, still 2 by 2 as Caminao and the Polish guy now is coming up behind. No, Caminao makes a move on the Opel, it looks like, or something. My screen quality is not that good, to be perfectly honest with you. No, Caminao is here. Caminao is here just moving a little bit out of the way, it seems like, for Junior, not getting involved. There's Dave Junior attacks Kowalowski, that Polish guy, he definitely spun him around. Whoa. Is he waiting for Kowalowski? Is he just going to drive on with the race? He does look like to be waiting for Kowalowski as an apology and show off good sportsmanship once again from Dave Jr. As we saw in the first race as well, just giving a little bit of a weave there, saying, I'm sorry, mate. Let's keep going. We can still make positions. Still a long way to go. 26 minutes of the race. As Sean Piastri now makes a move up into 6th position. He goes around Nart Cox to take this one. As he's now behind Clean, who just literally 2 minutes ago, who've dropped into 5th position. As Tim Spenkling is in 4th, Gill in 3rd, Abnosa in 2nd, and Linson is leading away. He's the big winner of this 2nd race. Keeping a good position on the track as Sean Pietri now sets up the move onto the start-finish straight. And Stu Neal on Patrick Travers, it looks like, and he does make the move. Stu Neal, he's ahead of Patrick Travers at the minute. But can Patrick Travers make a comeback, or Tractor as we know him look? Doesn't look like it. Stu Neal makes the move stick, and he already pulled out a little bit of a gap, so we can focus on Nart Cox ahead of him now. And still very close. 3 seconds from this 8th position up into the lead. In these touring cars, it's not an awful lot, as Sean Pietri seems to be held up a little bit in traffic there. Marcel Viss we now follow here with some action with JC Caminao behind. Caminao trying to send it up. No, it's Caminao ahead of. And now we are jumping up into the lead battle here. Linson leading the way in front of Fabio Gil, Mike Abenosa and Sim Spenkeling up into 4th position as they go 2 by 2 in almost perfect pairs, as we can see a lot out of this windscreen from Fabio Gil's car. Coming in here, he does get a little bit of a better apex than Linson, but not good enough to get close into the chicane and over the sausage curbs. We saw them as Fabio Gil. We normally see him be a little bit of an aggressive driver, trying to show his car almost everywhere he can to make some moves. It does provide us with a lot of action in these series, as we can see the race winner from last time coming up behind now in 5th position. Just making it into the screen there with the 3-car train behind us. Here we go on to Sean Pietri once again now behind Sim Spinkeling. These two drivers were trying to fight their way through the field last time around on the reverse grid, and Sim Spinkeling made the top position. And a drive-through penalty for Dimitri Schenk speeding in the pit lane. Unusual to see cars in the pits, as we see the pit buildings here and all the trucks parked behind. Fabio Gil still 2nd position after we saw that little bit of a scenic around the racetrack. Drive-through penalty, speeding in the pit lane. We have seen that before. God damn it, stewards, go away. What are you doing this, Chris? No. Or at least that's what you say. Fabio Gil now on the outside. As we see defensive lines now from Dan Linsen, he will do everything he can to hold on to this position and the 3rd race winner of this championship. As Fabio Gil carries a lot more speed through the corner. But does he have anywhere to go with this extra speed? It seems like he had to lift off a little bit not to run into the back of Dan Linsen. Now he forces Linsen into a little bit of a defensive line, but can Linsen keep it tight? He does keep it tight, doesn't leave Gil any chance to go on the inside. Very, very nice driving, showing a lot of experience there from Dan Linsen. Probably have driven a lot of different racing cars over the last couple of years. As we now have a 4-car train forming up behind Linsen. Who wants to go first? Who wants to try and make the move, as Linsen will be defending, as this was his life depending on it. Coming around here still Fabio Gil, and now we jump further back the field as we follow Sim Spinkeling now behind Mike Abrenosa and Sean Pietri now coming on the outside. Sim Spinkeling will carry a little bit of less speed. Contact on the apex, and naughty boy Sean Pietri, he is just showing and saying he come rock you like a hurricane if you don't go away, or send you spinning like one. Still, it's so beautiful to see all these cars, so many different manufacturers lining up on the train, as it does look like that Neil is catching up to this train as well. It's really interesting to see that Dan Linsen manages to keep all these drivers behind at this stage of the race, but for how long can he do it, as now he's really close. Fabio right up underneath Dan Linsen. As we come into the first braking zone now, Fabio Gil were a little bit too late on the brakes, as we can see Dimitri Schenk once again speeding in the pit lane. Oh, maybe the stewards are just kind of reminding us that he is a naughty boy. Fabio Gil showing himself in the mirrors, now showing himself a lot in the on the outside. Line not working out that well for him there, as Dan Linsen sticks it, keeps it to the inside, really hooking the apex, not leaving any room for Fabio Gil. As Fabio Gil must be super frustrated that he can't find a way through Dan Linsen at this stage of the race, as Sim Spinkeling now goes on the outside of Mike Abrenosa just behind us. But the outside line have rarely worked through this corner we've seen so far. And Sean Pietri gets overtaken. It looks like no, Sean Pietri stays ahead, but now there are 4 cars in way too close proximity coming into this left-hand corner. What is going to happen here? They all follow in nicely on a line, and as yet another car joins up in this long line. I think it's Marcel Viss in that. Aston Martin now coming up behind this very long train of cars following race leader Dan Linsen. On to the 5th lap, we are soon to the 6th, as Sean Pietri goes onto the inside. 3-car collision, Sean Pietri, Sim Spinkeling and Mike Abrenosa involved in that. Surely Sean Pietri will have to wait for Sim Spinkeling here. Surely there's damage on at least one of the cars. As Mike Abrenosa is still in this, but look at that. Stu Neal up into 5th position after that. After that action. 3 cars really glued together here. It's Mike Abrenosa, Jake Wilson and Marcel Viss, ladies and gentlemen, up into this train here. Oh, they are really close. I would probably launch it now, as he does go to the inside but backs out of it. Maybe there's a little bit with trail braking, as we see a little bit of an overshot there from Mike Abrenosa. He left the room there on the rejoin, made it safe enough, as he could be swamped by 2 cars in just one mistake. That's how close it is right here. As we come in now, a big launch there. Marcel Viss overtakes Mike Abrenosa, and Mike Abrenosa have been demoted into 6th position in just a few corners after being up into 4th earlier on, even further up the field when the contact happened. It have been a little bit of scrub left. Maybe Mike Brno is carrying damage as he just goes on into the gravel and puts 2 wheels on the grass. That seems like there could be some steering issues with the car. He's not a guy who's prone to make any kinds of mistakes, especially on these touring cars. As here we are on board with Fabio Gil again. He still haven't found a way through Dan Lenson in 1st position. Through the chicanes, Fabio Gil makes a little bit of a mess of that one. Or maybe he's just trying to set something up, but he does lose a little bit of time to Dan Lenson coming out of these couple of corners. Must be frustrating to look at the back of that black car ahead of him. Maybe the shorter wheelbase of the Renault is helping it out a little bit around this track with all the tight corners. And the Hyundais might be a little bit of a weaker car here as Neil is really getting onto the back of Fabio Gil now. And here further down the field, that Polish guy Kowalowski, after the early incident, have moved himself back up into 10th position, now ahead of Clean, Travers Jr., Caminao and Schenk. And Tribeck down into last position once again. He is probably retired, yes, and Dmitry Schenk might be as well, as he have gone a lap down. But Kowalowski, what a great comeback. No, Dmitry Schenk is still rolling around in the mediocre Opel. Still wonderful to see these Opel Astras racing around on these virtual tracks. Not a car you see that often in real life on the racetracks these days, but here on SSRI WTCC series we get to see it racing around alongside other cars. Well, not at the minute he's racing alongside himself, but hey ho, as we jump right back into the action for 3rd position, Stu Neal is now making the move on Fabio Gil. This gives Dan Lenson a very nice gap up in the front, but can Stu make the move and go promote himself up into 2nd position, as he have been the really man of this race so far, man of both races I would say, for all the overtakes he have done. As we now go down the back straight into the left hand corner, we have seen some launches up here, which surprised me a little bit after we had seen the track for the first time, but it is possible in these cars. Now we come up to the chicane. Stu Neal gets a lot better exit there, but he doesn't have anywhere to go with it. Through the chicane once again with the overspeed, but can he get anything out of the overspeed as he moves his car into the outside line, trying to carry some speed and building it up. Keeping momentum in these cars are crucial as he sends it up the inside. Stu Neal up into 2nd position. It looks like he makes it work on the inside in that hairpin.
There was a door open by G, and Neal see his opportunity and stick to it inside and got the overtake done. Amazing job by him.
Super decisive by Stu Neal there. What a drive. But can he be the man to spoil it all for Dan Lenson, who's really looking to be the 3rd one to take really a surprise win if Dan Lenson were to win this one, as he's still leading away. As Sean Pietri now into 9th position, Kowalowski behind, and Sam Spenkelink ahead. Remember, Sean Pietri and Sam Spenkelink had that collision early in the race, and they are the 1 or 2 drivers in the championship at the minute. So it is a little bit strange to see both of them back here, as no one can really capitalize on that error early on. It would be good to have some cars between them for the championship, but Neal up ahead is really getting close to the lead of Dan Lenson now. I don't think Lenson can keep this up for much longer. Sam Spenkelink now trying the outside move around Nard Cox, his former teammate or usual teammate, but it doesn't work out, and Sean Pietri goes up on the inside of Sam Spenkelink, and Sam go all the way off the track, and he'll lose yet another, looks like, to Kowalowski. No, he doesn't, but what is Sean Pietri doing now? Now he's getting up really close to Nard Cox, as Dave Jr. launches it on the outside, trying to carry some speed and make the switch back, but doesn't look to work, as Sean Pietri is making himself very wide on those mirrors of Nard Cox. He does have a little bit of a bump, and he is sending it up on the inside. A little bit of scruffy attempt there. Not the place you want to go for the move if you're not fully alongside the other car. As Nard Cox now yet once again is holding up cars and holding up a train of cars behind him. This time Mike Abrinosa got out of it, lucky for him. But Sean Pietri is caught behind us. Now he goes up into the inside for the overtake, takes down chicane, and Sean Pietri makes it stick. Something that Sam Spenkelink could do earlier on this race, or earlier in this lap I should say. As Sean Pietri promotes himself into 7th position now. Wow, 2 overtakes in 1 lap. Sam Spenkelink and Nard Cox both got overtaken there, as Sam looks to have lost yet another position to Kowalowski or to Nard Cox. No, Simsport made the move around Nardcock. Sorry, excuse me, I didn't see which way around that. As we see the beautiful pit buildings once again and all the team trucks from teams that are not racing here today. Nardcock's here defending a little bit. No, he's not. He is giving room to race as Kowalowski now moves ahead of Nardcock's. That Polish guy is really doing a decent job, doing a great comeback here after being down to almost last, as Lenzen now have been passed for the lead by Stu Neal. Stu Neal have done the impossible and overtaken the Lenzen train. He derailed the freight train and the plans for the win. Those tracks wasn't leading him to the promised lands after all. But can Lenzen make a comeback and re-overtake Stu Neal for glory? I highly doubt it, as Stu Neal really pulled in a lot of time on Dan Lenzen as he was catching up to him. Unfortunately, didn't get to see the exact move, but it seems highly unlikely that anyone up in the top 5 at least can match Stu Neal's pace in this race. As Dan Lenzen now will be trying to defend a second position, which is also a decent result for him. As now we see Marcel Viss here on the outside of Jake Wilson, and yeah, falling in behind. Not a lot of action as he's coming very close under braking, allowing Fabio Gil to come, and he is taking a little bit of different line that puts him on the inside now. Coming into the next corner, whoa, the dog got shot there. Very good driving from Jake Wilson. Once again, we see him make some good moves with that short Peugeot, and look at how close they're driving in these cars. It's incredible. Sometimes you couldn't even put the newspaper between them. Coming into the penultimate corner here, 13 minutes to go in the race, as we see a little bit of two-wheel action there from the Peugeot ahead, as Marcel Viss now looks to the inside. The beautiful pit buildings, as we love to see them. Marcel Viss outside.
Oh.
He dares to make the move. He actually makes it stick on the outside, even though he went a little bit off the track. It doesn't seem to be too bad. As Jake Wilson now forces Gil to take the brakes on an unfortunate position on the track. Gil is looking still all over to find a way through. Not much that he can do now. This we see here, these 3 cars are the final podium position that they're battling for, and a little bit of contact here as Jake Wilson makes his move back up into 3rd, forcing his way almost, I would say, through Marcel Viss, as Marcel Viss will now lose the position to Fabio Gil as well. From 3rd to 5th in just 2 corners. But Fabio Gil still haven't been able to find a way through Jake Wilson in this race. It's a little bit unfortunate as Wilson goes wide there. Also a little bit close further behind with Viss and Gil through that corner as we go along the front bumper. As Marcel Viss takes evasive action not to run into the rear there of Fabio Gil. Whoa, that looked really terrifying from that camera angle, as Jean Pietri now making a little bit of a move on Mike Abrinosa. Will he make it? Can he make it at some point? These are the these two was involved early on in the incident with Simsport as well. Flashing the lights, it looks like, on the rear bumper of that beautiful Honda just ahead. As Sean Patrick can carry so much more speed, but when there's no place to go with it through these single lines, as he forces the clear on the inside, makes a contact, loses out himself there. As Jake Kowalowski now back up into P7 after that early incident. We saw him in then. Also a good candidate for driver of the day, I would say, at least. As we go on to the back straight this time around, lap 11, we go on to now. Sean Pietri showing himself, but he's not even remotely close to make a move on Jake Kowalowski, that Polish guy, as he's catching up to Mike Abrinosa. And will try and make the move further up the field if he can do it. We have seen some drivers have been a little bit cautious and had some difficulties overtaking. Marcel Viss now moves into 4th position ahead of Fabio Gil. He moves into 4th position as we can see that long train of cars coming in behind them. They go we're going to overtake you guys at some point, at least try to catch up. Marcel Viss now into that double apex left-hander. Can Fabio Gil get some kind of a run there? They are still in this together. They have been so close throughout the entire race. As we now jump down to Jake Kowalowski and Mike Abrinosa, Sean Pietri still in this 3-car battle, as Simsport is catching up to the back of this train. This train seems to be moving forward at a rapid pace at the moment. but they have to be worried that they don't get caught up battling too much, although this is the time for the guys further down the train to make those moves to get further up the field. Only it looks like I have a little bit low screen resolution as Jake Kowalowski makes a move on Mike Brno. But Mike Brno will try to defend it as Sean Pietri now free wide, ladies and gentlemen, coming in here. Jake Kowalowski makes a move ahead of Mike Brno, and Sean Pietri joins in behind on single file this time around. Not sure he'll continue to do that. Coming around the corner that we earlier thought was the last one, but third to last penultimate, and then last corner now. Start finish straight. Mike Brno in the Honda got overtaken by Jake Kowalowski, that Polish guy, the man himself, the legend, the myth. In that easy spottable blue car, as we have the two yellow cars up behind each other again, or at least a yellow and a green car. Sean Pietri not doing anything good for his championship hopes here, even though he will still be leading the championship after this race. Or at least if my calculations are correctly. I, to be honest, haven't looked at it since the start of last round, but he did have a commanding lead. And with the win earlier in the first race here, he will still be up there. As we follow Mike Brno around. As we see him go onto the curb, taking a lot more curb than the car behind. That would be Sean Pietri. Mike Brno now coming into the double left-hand corner. Sean Pietri going way wide. They're trying to set up for extra speed on the outside of this corner. Does it work? It looks like he had to lift there. Mike Brno gets to stay in 7th position for now. It actually looks like Sean Pietri lost time during that, as Simsport is now up in the tail of him. Through the chicane we go. Will we see more two-wheel action? Sean Pietri really taking a lot of that inside curve. Mike Brno here. Oh, I thought that was car on the inside. It wasn't. Now we go further up the field. Jake Kowalowski have caught up to Fabio Gil now. Wow, he's really making an attempt to get some good positions out of this. What a recovery drive. Only 8 seconds behind the leaders at this point. He could have been right up there with them if it wasn't for that incident early on in the race. Jake Kowalowski, Fabio Gil in the picture, ladies and gentlemen. This is the battle for 5th position in the race. As we can see, they take very different lines here, as Jake Kowalowski is trying to force something on start finish. So we'll get a better exit. He does get the better exit of that final corner. Will it be enough to tow him right up behind Fabio Gil? And can he make the move? Can he get anything out of it? He does look up on the inside, but but goes back into that single file. Now he gets a better exit. We have seen this before. A little bit of contact there. Oh, not a lot. These cars are built for it, as he lost a little bit of time there trying to avoid the heavy contact and damaging the car too much. He's probably still carrying a little bit of damage from early on in the race. As we can see, the big train is still getting closer and closer behind. Now we have almost a 5-car train. Jake Kowalowski is in 5th position. Mike Brno 7th. Fabio Gil 5th. I don't know why I did it in that order, but it doesn't really matter. We are just trying to fill in a little bit of time here, so it won't just be all quiet and engine noise for you guys out there watching. And if you are watching, then please remind us in chat what goes together, as well as these drivers. Mayonnaise and more mayonnaise, or something better. As Grandpa himself said. Like and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Not that we think that anyone's actually watching this. We do believe that we must have scared them all away. After this, Simsport here in 9th position. As they are truly a train now, 5-car train with Nardcox looking to join to be the 5th, as they are side by side, as Jake Kowalowski have made the pass on Fabio Gil. Jake Kowalowski now up into 5th position. That Polish guy really making some strides here. Can he catch up about 4.5 seconds to Marcel Vist to take 4th? It seems a little bit unlikely, but if he got his head down, he probably could do it. We saw that all those gaps in qualifying, that the fastest guy are that, and Chris Hill's favorite picture again of the pit boxes from behind. he did move it away quickly. Not the best for the spectators, of course, but all we want to see is just some live action on track. As we here follow Sean Pietri, and who was that? Simsport going very wide there behind. Putting a little bit of distance there, but it doesn't seem to give him a better exit. He's actually gaining on Sean Pietri after going so wide there. Maybe that is the best line for that corner. Just sending it way over the curb and taking advantage of all the tarmac runoff. But again, if it's tarmac, why not use it in these cars? I don't think anyone prevents you from doing it, as Fabio Gil here is defending hard from Mike Abrinosa. He just got passed by Jake Kowalowski, and he might still be under attack, or he is definitely still under attack, as Mike Abrinosa gets it on the inside but makes the contact. He will have to back out of that for sportsman reasons, though it didn't seem like he had a choice, as Fabio Gil got the better exit, as Sean Pietri now goes up into a close position to Mike Abrinosa. He could set up the move if he manages to get a better exit out of this chicane, as the long cars doesn't seem to be that good under braking around this track, a little bit surprisingly. As we can see, the cars move back and forward like a harmonica being played and stressed, as Sean Pietri makes a move on Mike Abrinosa, sends it up the inside and gets the car stopped somehow. He must have that extra brake somewhere, like Mika Häkkinen back in the days with the McLaren car in Formula 1. Fabio Gil still in 6th position. Sean Pietri now up into 7th. Remember, he did have that incident earlier on the race with, I believe, was Mike Abrinosa and Simsport also getting involved in that. And those three are 7th, 8th and 9th at the minute, as Mike Abrinosa here we follow, as Sean Pietri looks to be attempting a little bit of a move further up the field, and Chris Hill didn't let us see the backside of the pit boxes this time. Well done, Chris. If you could hear me clapping, then I would, but it would seem a little bit weird. Sean Pietri makes a move on the inside there on Fabio Gil. Sean Pietri have not made it stick, as Fabio Gil still keeps that 6th position up ahead, and now they're really close. Sean Pietri moving around as Mike Abrinosa looks to be making a move. It must be really frustrating for Sean Pietri. He just wants to make that move stick, but all of a sudden there's a car behind him also showing in his mirrors that he have to take into account. As we go here, they are side by side now. Next corner is a left-hand corner though, but we have seen Sean Pietri be super late on the brakes, as Fabio Gil backs out of it and almost loses out 2 positions on that. As Sean Pietri up into 6th position now, not losing too much in the championship. It's a good recovery from him as well, not as good as Jake Kowalowski though. Mike Abrinosa falling a little bit now under pressure from Sem Spenkeling and Nard Cox from behind, but he is keeping close to Fabio Gil. Maybe he wants that 7th position back from Fabio, and he doesn't want to lose out their internal battles here. As he's cutting a Hyundai sandwich. It doesn't sound super tasty, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see how tasty it is. As Spenkeling goes to the outside trying to get the exit speed, but have to back out to avoid the contact. 3 cars super close proximity, another one close by, as Sem makes a little bit of contact. An error from Sem, we have seen those grow on him as of late in racing. He is maybe getting a little bit old now, not as old as Chris though. Coming around here, Mike Abrinosa into the second to last corner, the penultimate corner, into the final corner now. Mike Abrinosa seems to have been getting a little bit of a better exit here than Fabio Gil. But we have seen that you need to get a lot better exit, as we only have 1.5 minutes to go in this race. It looks like I have so low quality on my screen that I can't really see a lot on the timer, except it says 1 minute in the front. Mike Abrinosa still in that 8th position. This has been a truly exciting race to watch, this second one. Not that the first one wasn't good either, because it was, but this second one, wow, action-packed from start to finish. As we have 4 cars super close, that 2x2 formation. Marcel Viss into 4th position, as there's a battle forming for second, as Dan Linsen now gets a little bit under attack once again for that 2nd position. He have done such a good job defending all race through. Only 1 car could sneak his way through, as Jake Kowalowski would wish for 2 more laps in this race so he could catch up to this battle as well. Marcel Viss in 4th position. 3rd position goes to Jake Wilson at the moment, as Fabio Gil and Mike Abrinosa seems to be swapping positions further down the field. Jake Wilson through the chicanes. A little bit of weird braking there on the apex, but he still keeps it close to Dan Linsen, who is doing a phenomenal job here. Less than a minute to go. They will be starting the final lap this time around across the start-finish line. It seems like maybe this will actually be the last lap. We'll have to wait and see. I think the next one will be 10 seconds to go. It depends on where Stu Neal is on track, as this is the third to last corner. Next one will be the first to last corner. This is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. This is last lap battling for the podium spots, as Jake Wilson now over the curb. It does not seem like he have the speed to get this one through. Stu Neal wins the race ahead of Dan Linson. Jake Wilson takes third position. Marcel Viss looks to be coming in fourth as that mighty picture there. Jake Kowalowski. Fifth, Sean Pietri, sixth, seventh position, two, Fabio Gill. Micah Brnosa in eighth position. Sems Benkeling gets the ninth position. Nart Cox in the ladder, 10th position. Marcel Clean, pole sitter from race 2. Now in 10th position. What happened there? Maybe someone left the server. Patrick Treffers, or Mr. Tractor himself, in 11th. Dave Jr. in 12th. Kamanau. Whoa. Almost contact there. Kamanau in 13th position. Unlucky. Dimitri Schink in 14th. Nart Cox was the one leaving the server and coming back in, which is why he's now into 15th position. I hope he does get scored where he finished. Unlucky for Schink with the drive-through mayhem going on this race. And Simon Trebek in 16th position. Some smoke going on up here. Maybe they have a little bit of peace pipe to pass around through the field. There have been some contacts and some incidents throughout the race. But wow, what a race, and congratulations to Stu Neal for winning this one. Truly a good job. Now we have had 3 different winners in this championship in 6 total races spread out over 3 rounds. Dominic, what did you think of the race?
First of all, well done to the podium. Amazing drive by them. Yeah, but I really need to say I think it wasn't the cleanest race by everyone. So we know that these cars are made for this close contact racing, but it seems to a bit more than a paint job exchange. So the cars run into each other, spin each other out. It wasn't the nicest race, I would say, but it was a really action-packed race. So I'm quite happy about it, but as well as not that excited anymore.
No, there's a little bit that it wasn't clean for a lot of the drivers. We did see a lot of contacts, some really bad incidents it looked like, with a lot of just way too late sends. But speaking of, we did see Jake Kowalowski, that Polish guy, making an amazing comeback, truly extraordinary in this race. Same goes for Sean Piastri, as they both moved up the field, as Jake Kowalowski also took the fastest lap in that race. Who would you say over these 2 races was your driver of the day? Both of you. You can just answer when you feel like. Don't let the answers rain on me.
No. The driver of the day, yeah. I would separate into the 2 races. So in race 1, I would really say it was once again Joe Pietri with his amazing drive from start to finish. And in the second one, I'm not quite sure. In the first half, it seems to be Jill, but then I would say at the end it was Stu Neal who can stick to the win and won the race at the end. So well done to him.
I would say it's in the second race. I think in the first race, I don't think there's any doubt that the driver of the day must have been Sean Pietri, just leading from the start and just driving away like there was nothing behind. But Stu Neal is my overall driver of the day today from both races. He did a really good job in the first race, making up some positions, and in the second race he really made up some positions. What a drive from Stu Neal today. This has been a true pleasure to watch and commentate on, as we almost have forgotten to talk about Dan Linson. What a defensive drive we saw from him throughout this second race. He really clinged on to that first position for so long in the race, even though he had much faster drivers behind. He just didn't want to let go, and once he let go of that first position, or he didn't let go, he got overtaken for first position. He managed to stay somewhat close to Stu Neal throughout the rest of the race, and fighting off the rest of the chasing pack. Dan Linson really doing a good job this time around also. What are your thoughts about him after this race?
It was amazing to watch him defense like that. So really well done to him, and I hope we see some more action by him in the future races.
Oh Oh, he will surely be hungry after this one. Now he have seen that he actually does have pace to drive up with the fastest cars and fastest drivers in this championship, as next time we'll go racing in this championship will be on the 23rd of March at Motorland Aragon, which is a track we have heard of before, but I can't put it in my head as we speak.
I think it's a Spanish track, so we're going back to the Euro.
Motorcycle racing, if I'm...
Yeah.
But I don't hang me up on that one. Oh, we have Mike Brno joining us. Hello, Mike.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
We are fine. How are you? We really saw you get dirty in these races. A lot of contact in these races. Very good drive from you. Must have been super fun out.
Yeah, really enjoyable.
I can only imagine. Put some words on this, especially the second race we saw a lot of you, but also the first one we saw you on the stream. Put a few words on what happened out there.
Yeah, I mean, done zero practice. I literally got home from London 2 minutes before the season started, and no idea how to go around the circuit. But yeah, really good race. I think I started near last in the first round, so it was had a really great launch, and I think I propped myself up to about 10th. And then really found some unexpected pace, had loads of fun chasing down Nard, I think for a good 15-20 minutes. Found my groove there, and then with the reverse grid, again I started I think about 9th or 10th into race 2, had a really good launch, found myself up in 3rd. As usual, I like to stay out of trouble, I didn't get involved in any incidents there. But then, you know, some of the really fast guys, when they start to catch up, they're a bit argy-bargy, so got pushed out the way a little bit, but had a really good midfield race. You know, really clean racing with all the SSRI guys, as always. So yeah, lots of fun. Thanks for organizing, as always. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching the stream and seeing how, you know, how the battles panned out.
Oh, you just wait and see. We saw a lot of action on these streams. We saw you getting involved in that incident with Seb Spenkeling and Sean Pietri earlier in the race. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there? We only got to see it once on the stream with no replays.
Yeah, so I think what happened was Jean-Pierre behind Sem at the time, and I think I wasn't expecting Sem to take the inside line, because Sem's a very clean driver, you know, and so I just took my normal line as I had been taking for a couple of laps, and I think Sem saw Jean-Pierre missed his braking zone, and so then there was just a little bit of contact there, so unfortunately they lost out a little bit of time, but I think they managed to come back. I think Sean got me in the end.
Yeah, it looked like it on the stream at least, but we all have short-term memories of here.
Yeah, he's a very fast driver. You know, we've seen it all season long. He's just very consistent, very fast. It's the first time I've driven touring cars ever, so it's nice rubbing his racing.
Exactly. Well, if this was your first time driving touring cars, I must say, what a drive you put on.
Yeah,
truly amazing to see.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie.
How are you looking forward to the next race when we go to Aragon Motorland?
Yeah, again, another track I've never driven, so looking forward to it, and hopefully can just keep this momentum. I'm getting a lot more familiar with, you know, how to control the throttle. I think that's really key with these cars. You can't just step on it like you can with the GT3s, and so, you know, smooth is fast, and yeah, just carry on the momentum. Hopefully for the rest of the season, just continue to have battles like I had today. I found since race 1, it's been just so much fun, even just being at the back, you know, just the side-by-side racing that you can have here with these cars is so much more enjoyable than sometimes just being all the way out in front or in a GT3 car.
Oh yes, but speaking about GT3s and touring cars, in comparison, how are they to drive? I know it's two very different cars, but when looking at them, the touring car seems a little bit more understeery than GT3 cars. Is that true?
Yep, very understeery because front wheel drive, no traction control. So as soon as you step on the gas, it's just going straight. There's no ABS either in these cars, so a little bit too much brake pressure, and again you're just going straight. You're torpedo, as Seb Vettel once described. And yeah, they're just completely different. There's no element of downforce. It's just you and the car. There's no assists, so very different racing.
A lot of manhandling, I would expect.
Yes, yeah, a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we can do more of these.
Oh, there's still a lot of racing to go left in this season.
Yes,
It's not that we want to kick you out of the shed, but I can see that Nard Cox is waiting as well. Oh, now we live.
Yeah, no, thank
Well-
you for having me as always, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes, thank you, and we're looking forward to see you on track for the next race.
All right, see you.
See you.
Bye.
Well, that was interesting to speak with Mike Abrinosa. As we can see, maybe Dimitri can come in the shed if there's room for him here. Hello, Dimitri.
Hey!
Mr. Mediocre, as we called you in the commentary shed as you drive the Oval.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm just a normal guy.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of that machine. Truly
Oh.
beautiful car. Truly good to see the Opals out on track. Can you tell us a little bit about how your races went this evening?
Yeah, the first one was really nice. I was actually in a battle with Mike Abrosa and Sam Spankling and stuff like that. So that's not something I'm used to, and that was really enjoyable. Very very close racing. I absolutely love this track. I didn't know it before, so I did a couple of laps yesterday and really loved the vibe of it. It's a great flowing track, so that was nice. And to be honest, the second race, it was a hectic first lap. I think we did 7-8 corners and they were all 3 wide, so that was fun. And after that, I somehow managed to put the car on 2 wheels, and the suspension didn't like it dropping back, so I had to go into the pit.
Yes, we did see you finishing down the order. And we also noticed you got some drive-throughs for that, but a lot of drivers have said that they didn't know this track before getting here. Is that true that touring car drivers never practice?
Well, for this competition, that's true for most of us, I think. It's just a bit of a fun competition like that. So not many are actually practicing, and we have an hour of practice before the race, and we all join the voice comm, and it's great fun. I have to say, I really enjoy not taking it incredibly serious, but still have some great fights and have a nice chat on the voice as well.
Yeah, these touring cars seems to be really good cars to do a lot of battling in, as your guys are side by side almost through every corner around this racing track.
Absolutely, and and you can really race door to door and trade some paint, and it was really nice. And the last race it was great, especially the second race when it's reverse grid. It gets hectic very quickly, so that was fun. And I have to say, it was my own mistake that pretty much killed the race for me second time around. But I did a couple of drive-throughs. You're correct, and I don't know what I did, but the first time it didn't register the drive-through, or I did something wrong. I'm not sure, but I had a nice battle anyway.
I think you were speeding in the pits for the second time. You were just such a naughty boy.
Yeah, or just incapable of doing some great racing and finding the correct button.
Oh, you'll be there for next time. We're going to what did I've just mentioned? Aragon. Yes, Aragon next time round. It's a track you know of.
Another track that is not familiar to me, but that's the beauty of it. It's some new tracks, and I absolutely love this one. So I'm really looking forward to Aragon as well.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you there as well. As I can see that Stu Neal, our race winner, have also joined us in this very very small tiny shed.
Good evening.
Mr. Stu Neal, only the third guide or driver to win a race this season in the touring cars. How does it feel to be a race winner?
Very good, actually. It's I had a bit of a nightmare in the first 2 races. The first 2 previous meetings, I got, I think, second in the first race in both of them. The reverse grid, I just got wiped out when I was trying to get through traffic, whereas this time I was determined to try and actually get through. And yeah, once again, I picked up second in the first race. Jean Pretre, I'm not quite sure how his name's pronounced, but he's so quick. And so I was just hoping I could get through traffic better than him in the second race. And sure enough, I did. I followed him through most of it, and then I think he made a bit of a mistake or got tangled up, and then I pounced, and then just kept going, basically. So it was, it was a good result.
Yeah, Sean Beatrice, Sim Spenkling, and Mike Brno got involved in a little bit of a contact further down behind. But Stu, you were the only driver who could pass Dan Linson in this race. He drove so incredibly defensive throughout. We actually didn't get to see you overtake for first in this race on the stream, but can you tell us about how you did it? How you managed to overtake this defensive guard almost?
I just basically, well, obviously I got up behind him, and then I was just moving around and just getting plenty of sort of options left and right and poking my nose here, there and everywhere. And eventually, I think he ran, I can't even remember how I passed him, to be fair. It was such a long race. I think he outbraked himself, and I just tucked it up the inside. I'd closed on him through the. He wasn't so quick through the twisty sections out the back. I don't know any of the corner names, but basically.
Than the number of them.
Yeah, well, basically, I came through the bit. You've got loads of those curbs that have got the lines across them, and I hammered across the top of one of them. And just came down the inside. I think I got him on the corner just after that. You've got the left-hander, tight left-hander near the end, and then it opens up wide, and that was the corner I got him on, I think. And then once I was past, I could just go then. But yeah, awesome.
It's awesome. Can you tell us about your first race? We also saw you getting a lot of positions there. I have called you my driver of the day.
Oh, thank you.
Since you made up so much ground in both races. How did the first one go for you?
Well, it's like Dimitri was just saying, I haven't had any practice on this track at all. I've never driven it before. So I went out in practice and I was like, Christ, this is this is hard work. Do you know what I mean? And I could see people's times tumbling down into the 150s. And I think I was on 152 at the time. And I thought, where's the other 2 seconds? Do you know what I mean? And then just in quali, I only put one decent lap in quali and somehow got a 150.6, I think, something like that, which was enough to put me up in 6th, I think, or something. And then off the start, I just basically latched onto the guy in front, and I was getting faster as I was getting more used to the track and starting to explore it a bit more. But the problem came towards the end of that race. Well, I think you probably saw, I was really struggling on the tyres at the end of the 20-minute race, because I was just pushing it so hard. And then, so I thought, I can't do that in race 2 because I won't finish. Basically, I have no tyres left. So, basically race 2, I was a bit easier on the tyres and changing gear a bit earlier and not getting on the throttle and really steering out of corners, if you see what I mean, trying to be as gentle as I could. But yeah.
So a true tactical drive in the second race after learning from the first one. That's really good. Do you reckon that you can get involved in the championship battle after this good result we saw you have here? You only need to win a few more races to be up there with the top guys.
Well, I hope so. I mean, as I said, I think unfortunately the first 2 races where I basically came in somewhere at the end, at the back of the field. If I'd have come in within the top 5 or something or other, that would have been a bit better. But I'm just hoping that I can claw my way through the pack in the second race. That's the key, obviously. If you can get up through there, you're laughing. And I think I was handed quite a few places in the race today. I'm not going to take all the credit. Quite a few people made mistakes, and I just capitalised on them.
Well, it's all about being there when other people gets involved.
Totally, yeah. When somebody messes up in front of me, I will definitely take advantage.
Sure. That's part of the great action we see in these cars.
Yes.
Next time around we go to Aragon Motorland. Is that a track that you have any kind of experience with? Not many people have, since we're not doing motorcycles in this community for some reason. Though it would be very fun on our car sim rigs attempting to do that.
I'll be honest, I have driven it a few times in touring cars as well, in a different league. So I do know the track. I'm not going to say what my pace is like because I'm honestly not too sure against these guys. So yeah, we'll have to find out. But I have driven it before.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be just fine. In the 2 races that I've been commentating on, you have been flying in both of them, or both rounds. To be honest, if we take the small crashes out of the equation,
Yes,
then
thank you.
You will surely be up there for the next round as well.
I will certainly be trying. Yeah.
Oh, we know you will. You seem to pick up the tracks very fastly. Apparently no one's really doing practice for these races, because why would you? Maybe except for Sean Pietri, of course, who seems to just be fast from the first second we go onto track.
He is, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll be able to turn a quick lap straight away on a track I've done before, but not on one I haven't. It's going to take, like I said, it took me halfway through, I think, the first race to actually think, right, this is what I've got to do. But by that point, obviously it was too far gone on the tyres. But yeah, no, pleased with tonight for sure.
Well, if you're waiting for a track you have been to before, then I don't expect you're going to find many on the rest of the calendar, maybe except for Macau.
I've done Macau and WTCC, but they're obviously slightly different animals. But I will say that we're going to be in a car park in that, I think. Definitely in race 2. Through no fault of anybody doing anything wrong other than a slight mistake and the track's blocked. And then you're just parked up waiting, basically.
Yeah.
So
being the first guy that comes through.
Yeah, qualifying is going to be key there, 100%. Yeah, and obviously then race 2 is just going to be picking through the carnage.
It's gonna be a madness into the first braking zone on that track. Both races around, I think.
Oh well, yeah. You've got. I think there's a fast right-hander. I think straight away, isn't there? That claims many scalps on the exit of that into the wall. Yeah.
I think it goes left and right on a very wide backstretch. I can't remember Macau that well myself. It's been a while since I've been there in virtual racing, but yeah, we're actually looking forward to the car parks here in the commentary shed, since that's Chris Hill's favorite thing.
You'll definitely have something to talk about, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, it's buildings and water and some clipping through buildings, maybe.
It's going to be hard work for sure.
Surely, will you be preparing special for any tracks coming on in the season, or will you just show up an hour before the race and do a little bit of fun practicing with the other guys?
To be fair, I'm in another 2 leagues at the moment, so trying to find time to practice on any of them, I've set myself up with too much on my plate, to be honest. I should have just had concentrated on 1 or 2, but yeah, it'll be showing up an hour before. I haven't got any time to do any more than that.
That seems like the perfect strategy, just like the rest of the grid, it seems like. Yeah, which is maybe why we get all these fun, exciting races. People are not super well prepared. Maybe we should try and implement that in some other of our racing leagues.
Or just randomly throw it, just say we're going to have a calendar of tracks, and tonight it's going to be this one.
Yeah, and then instead of driving GT cars, then no, it's actually Formula cars, but it's on
this track. No. Touring cars is my thing. I'm no good in anything with downforce or anything like that. I think I showed that when the last thing that we were in. It just doesn't gel with me for some reason. I like the little front-wheel drive shopping trolleys.
Then we haven't told you that Macau is actually going to be the F3 Macau race that we're doing there.
Brilliant. I'll sit that one out then, because I'll be the one causing the car park.
We won't tell you guys until after qualifying, just before the race, and all of the cars will just swap.
Oh, brilliant.
Just trying to make it exciting for the few viewers out there.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? That's the right attitude. Anyways, I'm sure you have a just as busy night ahead of you as we do here.
Yes, well, going to bed. That's the next thing on the plan, so yeah.
Oh, you're not going to celebrate the win?
No, I've got to be up for work early, so unfortunately.
Celebrating good sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how we normally do it.
Excellent. All right, well, nice to speak to you guys, and I'll see you not next week, is it 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, in 2 weeks on the 23rd, I do believe the race will be.
Brilliant.
And you're always welcome to join the commentary booth, even if you don't do well in the races. I'd be actually very happy to hear from you if you do very bad.
Maybe I will. I might not quite be as jovial if I do badly, but you never know.
if you do mediocre and there's no battling, then just stay out. But the rest, just bring it in.
Yeah.
Then you can make your own action and just hit a wall or something.
Excellent. No, that would be alright. Cool. Right. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you for driving and coming here.
Cheers, then.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye.
Well, and that concludes an exciting night of racing here on the SSRI Racing Channel with the Touring Car Series from Ningbo. I'm Oliver Anderson. With me tonight was Dominic Giese and Chris Hill behind the cameras. Good night, ladies, gentlemen, and people who identify as others.
But be sure to join us on Saturday with the first race of our endurance season.
Oh yes,
we're
we were
looking
supposed
forward
to
to see you there.
Oh yes, we were supposed to do a special spot for that. Yes, Saturday, endurance racing, 6 hours, Laguna Seca, many crashes, many everything. Come watch.